guys, welcome back. I wanted to share with you today my MAC palettes. So I mentioned a little while ago that I had depotted them and that I was loving them at the moment. I've actually got a third one in the works, but that one is mostly limited editions and discontinued and things like that. So these are all permanent colours as far as I know, so I wanted to share these ones with you first. So as you can see, I've got more of a neutral and a peach tone, and then I've got more of like a pinky rosy one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one of these, tell you the colours, why I like them, and if I would recommend them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you would like to see what's in my MAC palettes, then just let's start off with my peachy, more neutral palette first of all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them all out one by one, because even though I depotted them all, I've actually got the stickers on the back with the finish on them as well, so that I can share them all with you properly and tell you what they are. The first one is actually one of my favourites, and this is Styl, and Styl is a frost finish. Now I personally, because I like highlight, I don't mind a frost finish. I know it's not for everyone because it is quite shimmery and it is literally frosted. So that's why I can understand if this is something that you're not in love with. As you can see, it is a peachy sort of a tone. It isn't so much coral, it doesn't have any pink in it at all. It is a definite peach. What I'm going to do at the end as well is I'll zoom in and show you the colours so you can see them properly. But it is a definite peach, but I really love this one, especially with a tan and nice golden highlight. I think it just looks really, really pretty. And this one, I don't know if you can tell by the picture. Sorry, I keep looking in the camera because for some reason I feel like I'm going to blind you with the pan. I don't know why. But this one is very, very close. You can see I've nearly used it up. So I will be repurchasing this one. This isn't my first one of these either. This is about my second or third one. So next to Margin, my all-time favourite, this is my next probably favourite and most repurchased. Next up is Modern Mandarin. Now Modern Mandarin is a satin finish, so if you're a fan of more of a muted blush that doesn't have any sheen or sparkle to it, then a satin is definitely the way to go for you. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's got no sparkle or shimmer, but it won't look flat or matte on the skin. Now with Modern Mandarin, it is more of a definite orange. Now I personally love oranges and corals. They are probably one of my all-time favourites because I favour more of a bronzy sort of a look. With Modern Mandarin, it looks really, really strongly pigmented, but with a light hand, it is absolutely beautiful. Again, it works really, really beautifully with a tan. Now moving on to Spring Sheen. Now Spring Sheen is a sheer tone shimmer blush. The sheer tone shimmers are one of my all-time favourites. You have heard me baffle on and go on and on and on about Foolish Me. Foolish Me was a sheer tone shimmer blush from MAC, and I love these, and Spring Sheen again is one of my favourites. I really like these because they have a shimmer to them, as the name would suggest, but they're not completely opaque. They are a little bit transparent, so they're not as strongly pigmented as, say, perhaps a Frost or a Satin. Spring Sheen is again a nice peach tone, but with this one it's actually got more of a golden iridescence to it, and where it's got it's the sheer tone, it looks like a watercolour almost on the skin. Absolutely beautiful. If you're somebody that's a little bit frightened of sparkle and shimmer in your blushes, these ones are a really good place to start because they are actually a lot softer. Now the blush I'm sharing with you now is Margin, and I have spoken to you about this hundreds of times. This is my sad little one pan that is very nearly empty. It's got cracks in it and all sorts, so it's barely holding together. But Margin is a frost finish again. This was the first ever blush that I ever bought from MAC years ago, and I have had, I don't know how many of these. I've had at least 10, I would say, in the years. It has got a shimmer to it. It does look frosty on the skin. I've always really enjoyed it. When I wear a frost, I tend just to not wear a highlight as much. So for me, that's how I tend to make them work. But with Margin, it's like a really, really nice muted bronzy peach. It's absolutely gorgeous, and for me, it is just a must-have. If you're a little bit scared of colour, it's really nice because where it is more of a soft bronzy sort of a peach, it looks very delicate on the skin, and absolute winner as far as I'm concerned. I cannot ever get enough of Margin. I even hauled my new one to share with you before, and I'm just obsessed with it still. I always will be. It's just the most perfect colour as far as I'm concerned. So next up is this little pretty, and this is Rosy Outlook, and this is one of the Pro Longwear blushes. Now with the Pro Longwear blushes, they all tend to be more of a satin or a matte finish, and they're designed to be longer lasting. Whether or not they are actually longer lasting, I couldn't confirm or deny, simply because blush isn't something that fades on me. It will last me throughout the day. Now with Rosy Outlook, it is more of a muted pink. It's almost like, it's not a peach and it's not a pink, it's kind of in between, but it's definitely not a coral, if that makes sense. Now with Rosy Outlook, I tend to use this if I'm using it for a model. I'll tend to use it on somebody who is a lot fairer in skin tone, just to give them that, literally that rosy glow in their cheeks. If I use this, it is quite subtle on me, so I use it as sometimes as a blush topper if I've gone a little bit crazy, or I will sometimes use it just on its own for the most subtle of subtle blushes. But I am quite a blush addict, as you know, and I do like a strong blush, so it tends to be one that I reach for myself less frequently, but a really, really pretty colour nonetheless. And lastly, in my peach and neutral palette is Peaches. Now Peaches is a sheer tone blush again. This one doesn't have any shimmer, so this is different from the sheer tone shimmer blush. This is just a sheer tone, so again, like I mentioned, it's more like a wash of colour on the skin. I really love Peaches. It is a true peach. It's exactly what it says on the tin, and it just gives a really, really nice warm flush of colour to the face. A beautiful blush and a really, really good basic. Something I reach for a lot more, I tend to find, in the sort of spring months rather than the summer, where I'll go for something a little bit stronger. So that is Peaches. In Style. Then we've got Modern Mandarin. This one here is Spring Sheen. Then we've got Margin, Rosy Outlook and Peaches. That was my peach and neutral palette. Now we're going to move on to the pink palette. Now in this one you can see I do only have 5. I'm trying to decide. I've got a couple that I might put in here, but I'm trying to decide. So for the time being, I have left one pan empty. But the 5 that I have in here are all goodies. First up is a blush I'm sure you've heard about loads and loads of times. This is Pink Swoon, and this is a sheer tone blush. So again, it's not got shimmer or sparkle to it, but with this one, it's not completely opaque. It is a little bit softer, so it does have a nice delicate finish on the skin. Even though it is a real true blue-based pink, I don't find that it looks chalky or powdery on my skin. This is something that I reach for when I want almost that girly look and something really quite soft. This little beauty here is called Whole Lotta Love, and this again is one of the Pro Longwear blushes. Now I picked this because to me this is like a true sort of like raspberry pink, and that is something that I love. I really enjoy its strong blush on myself. I like it when it almost gives you that sunburnt look, when it's like a strong sort of like rosy raspberry sort of a colour, and you apply it just here and you've got a nice tan, and it does almost make you look sunburnt. That is something that I personally really, really enjoy, and that was why I picked this. Now this is one that I only use from time to time, and I do need to show more love to, but I absolutely love it every time I wear it and rediscover it. So if you're looking for a real nice raspberry rich juicy looking blush with no shimmer or sparkle, then maybe you'd like to try. So you know how much I love sheer tone shimmer blushes, and Breezy is another one. It looks really, really strong in the pan, and it does have amazing pigment, but it is a lot more soft than you would imagine. I really love this in the winter months. It's that really nice berry toned blush that we tend to reach for in the cooler months when we're not as tanned, and it just looks really, really pretty. And because it has that little bit of shimmer, if you're somebody who's scared of using highlight, it's definitely one to check out. I love this, and I don't think that this one actually gets enough credit. It's one that I hardly ever hear people talk about, but whenever people discover it, they fall in love with it. Now this little beauty is Dolly Mix, and Dolly Mix to me is a Whole Lot of Love but with the shimmer thrown in, and that's because it is a sheer tone shimmer blush. Dolly Mix is a little bit of a cult classic, and it's one that people absolutely love. It literally does look like Dolly Mixture, and it is very, very similar to Whole Lot of Love, but it just has that nice softness to it because it is a sheer tone. So if you're looking for that real nice pop of colour and a little bit of a glow at the same time, definitely check out Dolly Mix. I love it. I wear this a lot, and I really like this as well through my crease. Sounds really unusual, but try it. And the last one from this palette is Peachy Keen. Now Peachy Keen in the pan, you can see is, it could almost be a coral, but it would be a very, very pinky coral. I could have put this in either palette and it happily have lived there and looked pretty. Now, Peachy Keen is a sheer tone shimmer again. As you can tell, it is my favourite formula, as I said to you. But this colour is just to die for. It is absolutely stunning. It's not too orange, it's not too pink, it's a bit more like a beefed up version of Margin really. It's just got a little bit more guts to it, it's got a nice shimmer and nice glow, and I find that this works really, really well on a multitude of skin tones if you use a light hand. I also love the fact that I can pair it with a pinky eye, a purple eye, or if I want to go more down the summery route and I've got like more of an orange look on, anything like that. I find it really, really versatile. So this is one that I really personally enjoy. Okay, so here we have Pink Swoon, Whole Lot of Love, Breezy, Dolly Mix, and then Peachy Keen. So these are my MAC blush palettes, 2 of them. I did have a little bit of a disaster, and when I put my Margin back in, it crumbled a bit more. I think I might have to depot my new one and put it in and just admit defeat, because it's just going to go everywhere and that will stress me out. Anyway, I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video. If I do depot more shadows and get my other palette done, as I'm hoping to, then I will of course share it with you. I am going to be doing a what's in my MAC eyeshadow palette video as well. I'm just in the process of sort of like rejigging them, because I've got some in a Z palette and then I've got my 2 MAC palettes, one with an insert and one without. And I am toying with the idea of just putting them all in MAC palettes and taking the inserts out, but I haven't decided 100% yet. So anyway, keep your eyes peeled if that's something that you're interested in. Thank you so, so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please take time to thumbs up and subscribe. It means the world to me. Anyway, I really hope you're having an amazing day. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. Mwah.